Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Africa Thread Talk. We are Africa's unapologetic podcast that brings you discussions of matters of the African continent in a very unique and straightforward way. My name is Nado. We thank you for your unwavering support of our podcast. My co-host today is my colleague and producer and editor of our show, Kaboshi Mbunkwa. Our fellow podcaster, Kwesi, is MIA. So it's just myself and Kaboshi tonight here. Welcome to the show, Kaboshi.
Hey, man, what is going on with Kwesi? I tried calling him. It goes straight to voicemail.
I think he got scared of the fact that you think that he's imitating you each time when you greet me.
He's giving me a break.
Yeah, he's giving you a break for you.
He's like, let me give this guy. No, what I think it is, it's not that, because Kwesi loves doing that. There's no way he's going to miss doing that. I think he's running away from responsibility of making the best jollof rice. According to him, the best jollof rice.
The best, yeah.
And he doesn't want me to ask him when we're going to have it.
Maybe he went to look for the ingredient. Maybe he went to Ghana to look for the ingredient to bring them back.
Or maybe he went to look for someone to make for him the jollof rice, and then he'll pass it off as his.
It's funny you say that, but many years ago, I lived by myself, and I had a lot of American friends. So I will invite them to my place, and then I will cook, and then they will eat, and then after they will say, "Where did you buy that?"
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know, Nado, you cooked.
Oh yeah, I love to cook. I really love to cook.
So they didn't believe that you could cook?
Yeah. No, it's not a matter they didn't believe that I can cook, but the food tastes so good, they think that it came from a restaurant. I said, but I said, did you look on the stove there? You see the pots? You see all the stuff there? Yeah, I made that. No, I mean, these are Americans that will say something like that. If it was an African, probably would not say that, because in Africa, we have a bachelor that cook.
Yeah, but you know what? In Kenya, I remember bachelors used to actually ask ladies to come and cook for them in batches.
I did that too.
They would make, rice in batches, stew in batches, vegetables in batches, and then freeze it. They
would freeze it. They would store it. And
yeah. And then they would just eat little by little. So you'd think actually they're the ones who cook the food, but no. So, but yes, there are men who know how to cook. That's for sure. That's for sure. So yeah, I think Kwesi, suspicious suspect.
Suspicious. You think he went to order the food in Ghana that far?
He's told someone, when are you flying in? Are you flying in next week? Perfect. Can you make for me and bring it?
So he went to get it. The last time we spoke with him, he was going to Washington. He was going to the East Coast.
Yeah.
And he was going to be back, and Sunday or something like that. And I guess there must be some African restaurant in Washington, D.C. there. He probably went to get the food.
Maybe. I would not put it past him. No. Until the day we go to his place and I see all the dirty pots and pans, then yes, for sure.
Then you believe it. Okay. Well, on our side here, I like the fact that daylight saving time is back. I love it to have a lot of lights late during the day.
Yeah.
How about
it's
you?
Not
you
bad.
Don't like it?
No, I don't. You know what? For me, I lose my 1 hour of sleep. That's the problem. I'm losing my 1 hour of sleep because of this nonsense of pushing the clock backwards and pushing the clock forwards. It's in the Northern Hemisphere. Okay, let's explain something to those who don't understand what's happening. In the northern hemisphere, the days and nights fluctuate during the various seasons, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in the fall, because the sun is in the southern hemisphere, you get longer nights. Darkness stays longer here, right, in the northern hemisphere. And then in the springtime, so around March, April, May, the sun, starts, or the earth tilts, whatever, or rotates, whatever it does. Clearly I don't remember is it geography? Something happens.
Yeah.
And the sun, the northern hemisphere starts getting longer days because of the way the earth is positioned. So that's what's happening now. And they push the clock forward and backwards. So in October, November? It's November.
Mm-hmm.
They push the clock back. It's a fall. They call it fall back. So that it's all about keeping the daylight longer. That's what it is.
Yeah.
In the spring, they push it back again so that we can get a longer day. That's what it's all. That's what
I like. I like the longer
mm-hmm.
day.
No, it's nice. I'm not saying it's bad, but I lose my 1 hour of sleep.
Well, you can make it up.
No.
You can make it up on the weekend.
I don't
try to gain it. No. After a while, you get used to it.
You think? No.
I mean,
there are studies that show that a lot of the seniors don't like that because it affects their body, and a lot of heart attacks happen.
They get confused.
a lot. Like, see, where I work, this is what happened where I work. Because I think when did they change the time? Like 2 weeks ago or last week?
Last week. That
was last week, right?
Right.
So at work, because I work at a nonprofit, and we
actually
have
the week
kitchen.
Before that.
The week before. So it's 2 weeks. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I work at a nonprofit that, we serve meals. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when they push the clock forward, these guys who are so used to coming, like we serve breakfast from 7 a.m., these guys didn't know that the clock was pushed forward. I'm not talking about the staff where I work, but the people that we feed.
Yeah.
So people were showing up instead of at 7, they were showing up at 8 o'clock or at 9 o'clock. So they missed breakfast. They really did.
They realized their mistake and their...
Which was very sad because, these are people who actually probably only have one meal a day. Like breakfast would be their only meal. Yeah. So there's a lot of food insecurities that's going on with the homeless people. But anyway, they did get something to eat. I think they made a lot of bag lunches.
Yeah, what I like about this De La Serenitam is that if you are an outdoor person, it's good because you have a longer light. The days are longer. You have a lot of lights, and you can just... I remember when I first came over here, I was at... we used to play at UC Berkeley campus. We used to play soccer at the UC campus. And it was good because we used to... some people get off from work about 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, and we play until 9 o'clock for 3 hours. And at 9 o'clock, it was still bright outside, which is good.
Yeah.
So last week,
there
was a power outage, actually internet outage, leaving millions offline for a week in Africa. And apparently there were cable that on the sea cable that were cut, and it was cut along the West African coast, and this has very negatively impacted data and fixed telecom services in several countries of West Africa. Is it possible for terrorists to cut undersea fiber optic cable?
But if they cut it, of what benefit will that be? Because I'm sure terrorists rely on data to communicate, right?
Yeah.
Of what benefit? But did they say how these cables got cut?
I mean, I don't know. They didn't.
When they say undersea, aren't the cables buried in the floor of the ocean, or
yeah? So
how
it's
was
an
it
ocean
cut?
floor. It's an ocean floor.
Yeah, yeah.
On the coast of West Africa. It might not be terrorists. It could be even some of these Western countries. Maybe try because their phone cable, their everything is working, but in West Africa on the sea, fiber optic, is disrupted.
Well,
and I'm just wondering.
It would be nice, It would be nice to know how these fiber optic cables got cut. That's what I think would let us know exactly maybe who did it and maybe why someone did it, because it's right now in this world today, we rely so much on our phones and the internet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think we even remember how life was without it, right? So, and a lot of vital information and communication happens through phone and internet. Can you imagine the businesses, the important infrastructure that uses these fiber optics, military installations, hospitals even. So it's a huge disruption, and I would love to know what impact this fiber optic cable had on the people that actually use it. I mean, forget about the influencers who are posting on social media.
Those the African influencers. I don't like them at all.
Yeah. Oh, Nado.
No, really, because they don't educate. They don't educate people.
Well,
when you have such a technology at your at hand, you should use it to educate people and show them how to do certain things. But these people, they come on, they are called influencers, but they're just fighting and showing what they have and who's doing what to who and insulting each other's. I dislike that, really. They're not using it
they're not using the tool wisely. But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the important infrastructure that uses fiber optics. I'd love to, and I wish Kwesi was here because he's the one who posted it, and I'm sure Kwesi is communicating a lot with people back home. So he must know. But I can see your terrorism point. I really can. It is something. And I wonder what's going to happen after this, now that it's been cut and we know that it can happen. So I wonder what the next steps are. Is there a policy that will come up around protecting these fiber optic cables from this happening again?
Yeah, and especially the African governments, they should get together and see how they can prevent that next time. Earlier, I was joking. I say, maybe it's some of this Western country or something like that. But, they try everything to disrupt Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso. You never know. That could have been disrupting it because why is just the cable from West Africa?
Yeah, those are very good questions.
So they could be manipulating, doing something like that, and so they can be able to infiltrate those countries without anybody knowing what's going on until it's late. But I hope that's not the case, because otherwise this is going to be really espionage, a terrible espionage. From these countries.
I wish it's probably a fish that has been nibbling on it,
The fish, you have to be a big fish.
Has been eating it, slowly by slowly, and finally cut it,
Yeah, but why West Africa?
Why West Africa? That's a good question.
Why not Europe? Because I was telling Kwesi, I said, you know what? This is how the West get African government by the balls, because they are in control of everything. Even the cable that goes on the internet, we don't have no control of that. You know? They can simply do something to disrupt it, the communications in that area, while they are doing something without no one trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Kwesi,
Anyway,
when he finally shows up,
yeah,
he will talk more about it.
The South African foreign minister, that lady, I call her the Iron Lady of Africa. She said that her country's citizens who fight in the Israeli armed force or alongside them in Gaza will be arrested when they return home. That's really deepened the rift between the nations after South Africa lay accusation of genocide against Israel at the United Nations top court, the International Criminal Court last time.
This lady, is she talking about white South Africans? Because I don't see how black South Africans would go and fight in the Israeli army, but I could be wrong, right? So she might be referring to the white South Africans. And those are probably dual citizens, right? So isn't it their right to fight where they want to fight? Or I don't know.
Well, it's like if you're going to fight on the side of our enemies. This is what it is. So you are betrayed. You are a traitor.
But you hold two passports. You're straddling two countries. So you're a South African and you're an Israeli, because you can't fight for I can't fight for a U.S. I can't join the U.S. military if I'm not a U.S. citizen, right?
But if it is a just war, if it's a just cause, you know what I mean? Because this war going on there, it's not a war, because the war you need to have a two army. But right now there are no two armies.
It's just one,
the Palestinians are just
they call them terrorists.
Yeah,
militia,
it's a group that
or
terrorists. So the over 12,000 kids that got killed, are they terrorists? Are they armed guerrillas? No. They are innocent.
Yeah.
So I think.
So you're for you want these people to be arrested if they go home. But this is the thing: did they leave South Africa to go fight in the army, or were they already part of the Israeli military?
Maybe.
If they were part of the Israeli military, then she has no right to say that, because they were already part of it. Why didn't she say that before?
Well, because maybe she didn't know that they were going to get involved on the ground.
But Nado, if you're in the military already and you've been told you need to go and fight XYZ, you go.
Oh, actually, what you mean? If they're already in Israeli military, but how can you do that though? You can't be in two. You cannot be, if they are military, so which means that they used to fight, they are in South African military also?
No. These are dual citizens who both can live in South Africa and live in Israel.
Yeah.
But they decided to join the Israeli military, right? Just the way you're a dual citizen here,
yeah, I
right?
know.
And if I want to join the U.S. Navy or Army, military, whichever arm, I can, because I hold a U.S. passport.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, I'm wondering, because I think in the U.S., if you're in the U.S. military and you hold dual citizenship, they'll ask you to rescind one of the citizens.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially
so
when
maybe
it comes
it's
to
different
military
for Israel. Yeah. Yes. Because they want you to be loyal to one country.
Exactly. So maybe that's what the foreign ministry of South Africa should demand. Should demand
instead
from
of
those
saying
people.
arrest, she should just say rescind your South African citizenship and stay in Israel. I mean, because even the words she used, she said, "We are waiting for you. We are ready. When you come home, we are going to arrest you."
Yeah.
That's a war cry.
So that's like a war crime, because you know, during the World War II, people who were caught spying for another country, I mean, they were called the collabo, like a collaborator. They're collaborating with this group, collaborating with the Nazis, and the Nazis are fighting some country in Europe. So if you are fine like that, and they just kill you, So,
but I do feel for these guys who are fighting for IDF, because they probably joined the military for whatever reason. And still love South Africa, still love their motherland, but can't go back, or they're afraid to go back because of, the political tension that is happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can understand the South African prime minister, because not only they have taken Israel to the International Criminal Court, it all stemmed from the time of apartheid. During that period of time, Israel was giving the intelligence information, and was helping the South African minority government, militaries, and showing them all the technique how to fight these liberation movement. And I think South Africa never forgot that.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what's going to happen. What's going to happen there?
I think it's just a baseless threat, but it just shows the mood around the world, even about this Palestinian Israel thing. I'm just going to genocide that is going on right now. It just shows the mood. And I think there was a fear that other countries might follow with this threat, but it doesn't seem to be that way, which is understandable. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You are listening to Africa Straight Talk. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you find your podcast. Africa Straight Talk, Africa's unapologetic podcast.
So last week we touched a little bit on the Congo crisis, and this crisis is still going on. Has been going on for many years. And just this week, the U.S. court sided with Apple, Tesla, and other tech companies over the child labor that is going on in Africa, especially in the Congo area. I mean, they ruled that the major tech companies whose products rely on cobalt from the Democratic Republic of the Congo are not responsible for the widespread use of forced child labor in the country's mining industry. However, there are some African nationals that are complaining about the fact that one of our president in one of these countries, Rwanda, is really helping feed the ongoing rebel war attack on the people around those mining villages.
Yeah.
This is really bad.
It is bad. Now, we've got to understand something. The world right now, as we know it, relies heavily on cell phones. And now that electric vehicles are going to become very popular, they're going to even dig in deeper to get some of these resources. So basically, your everyday life is going to revolve around these minerals, right? So to understand why this case came up, you've got to understand what happens in these countries where they mine these minerals. And for you to be able to go to the mines and work and dig and pass through these small passages, you need children. People the size of children, who are children, right? Basically, to be able to dig and bring out some of these minerals that we rely on a lot, which is sad.
Yeah.
Because I think these companies, the Googles, the Apples, the Teslas, the General Motors, all these companies are able and capable of doing the right thing. For example, the sweatshops in Asia.
Yeah, in Asia.
Remember? Yeah, and because they were making the Jordan shoes and, Nike, Adidas, all these companies and all the fashion designers were using sweatshops and kids mostly to make these items, which were then sold at very high prices and the kids were getting nothing, right? Yeah. So I think using the court is not going to help you get what you need.
No.
Having advocates that will either boycott using these cell phones.
That's it.
Cause a disruption is what will bring change. The courts are, of course, going to look at it in terms of the law. Like this, how do you know that Google is the one that is causing all this? Right? That's the question. Is Google there telling children, go there and dig? No.
Exactly.
That's what the court needs to see, is not seeing that relation. And if it does, there's no law against what Google is doing. Google or Apple are saying, I just make the phones. I don't know why I'm being sued. I just make the phones and I sell it. Is it my fault? No. I provide a service. That's it.
Well, you see, according to the complaint, the companies deliberately obscured their dependence on child labor, including many children that are pressured into work by hunger and extreme poverty.
Yes.
So just like you said, that's what the law is saying, that these people are not at fault because they are not the one that are on the field there.
Yeah.
They have intermediaries that are on the field.
Yeah.
And on top of that, there are thousands of children. I don't know why it's just 16 plaintiffs that in this complaint, with
exactly.
16.
And that's 16 only because I think those are the people. How do you explain it to people who are hungry? How do you explain, hey, we're going to sue these guys and we're going to get a lot of money? By the time you tell them to sign, and by the time it goes to court, and by the time there's a judgment, how many years has passed? You know how
how many kids will be dead?
How many kids will be dead or dying by then? So if you want immediate action, the way they handled the sweatshops is the way they should handle this. Rally, get the right people, get the right advocates to start causing some disruptions. Boycott buying the next iPhone. You know what that's going to do? That's going to bring down their profits. Tell Google, I don't need Google Pixel, whatever. No, I don't need it. For what? Samsung, tell them the same thing. That is how you're going to get them to change. That is how you're going to force Google or Apple or even Tesla or whatever. They're all in there.
Microsoft,
everything, everybody, HP. That's how you're going to force them to rethink. And what it is that will happen is they will force the companies that they buy these raw materials from to change their policy.
And the worst is that these African governments, they don't make a penny out of that. You see that?
And that's the saddest part.
That's the saddest part. Look, the Qatar, the Saudi Arabia, the Bahrain, all these Gulf states, Look how they took control of the oil.
Yeah.
And now everybody want to be going to, I'm going to Dubai, I'm going to Saudi Arabia, I'm going to buy this. Look up that. It's because they took control of what was behind their home or under their ground.
Yeah. But our leaders are, as Kwesi would say, are very greedy and don't think about the future, because politics is, this is what Kwesi said last week, politics is a means of getting out of poverty.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he basically said. So this is a means for them. They get kickbacks. The politicians get kickbacks, which are a lot of money. And so they're like, okay, if you want to use so-and-so's family who has 10 kids, use them. It's okay. Give them half a penny every day. Yeah. They're happy. You know? Yeah. They don't care. And they tell these people, go have more kids. Don't worry. Don't tell this. Let the white people not tell you not to have kids. They're lying to you. They want you all to die. I want you to have more kids. The tactics that they use. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. I don't know when our politicians will understand that God gave them a land of plenty.
That's the thing. They do understand. They know it. They know it, but because they don't care about you and your feelings, they only care about themselves and how it is that they're going to get out and live the life that they think they deserve to live. They know these politicians are not dumb. They're educated in foreign countries. They know exactly how the white people think. They know exactly how deals are made, but they only take care of themselves. You cannot tell me, right? Look at Kagame. Isn't Kagame trying to? He's trying. Whatever deal he's made is benefiting him and his people. You know what? Yeah. Good for him. For him.
Because. No, because a small country that doesn't have mining, and apparently they are the biggest sellers of cobalt.
Yeah, that is it. You see, now what Congo needs to do is to stop shouting and saying, Kagame, what is it you're doing? And to make friends with Kagame and tell Kagame, let's work together on this. Instead of screaming and threatening, shouting from your palace. In Kinshasa, talk to Kagame and tell him, listen, dude, let's work on this together. Let's both benefit. You see, this is the reason why Africa will never be united.
Yeah.
Because you see someone doing something, you start accusing them of something instead of thinking and saying, hey, how is this man doing this? And how can I also benefit for my people also? Right? You have to think like a snake if you're going to be a snake. You know, anyway.
Is that why your country's president got corrupted by United States to send the military to Haiti? They gave him some money so he can send some Kenyan to go get killed and over there.
Probably there is something. Haiti? Yeah, there is something there that Ruto. There's a deal there. There's a deal there. I don't know what the deal is, but I don't think Ruto would wake up one morning and just be like, "Oh, America, you know what? Me, I'm volunteering myself." I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think anyone in their right mind who knows about Haiti and its history and what is going on right now. But the president was forced to resign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Will just volunteer themselves to say, hey, I want to take my troops there. No. There's a deal there. There's something he wants.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can send your people there because they don't know the terrain, they don't know the country,
exactly.
They don't know anything. They will get massacred like little flies around.
I'm wondering if troops have already gone. I don't think so.
No.
Have they?
No.
I don't think so. They'll go.
No, I don't think so because I think your parliament at one time said no, they are not going, and then the president of Haiti went over there himself like a month ago or 2 weeks ago, and to talk more about it, negotiate. But then
you still don't come back.
So you were told, don't come back. And
Poor
now
guy went to Puerto Rico and Dominican Republic told him also, we can't have you here.
now he resigned.
Oh no.
So
Oh no.
if the Kenyan soldier were there, who's going to be taking care of them? They're going to be there. They're going to be in a place like a country without no government.
Yeah, nobody is getting in or out of Haiti. I mean, really. So why take your troops to certain death?
Exactly.
Exactly. That deal, whatever it is, he'd better say what it is. Really, he should. For there to be such insistence.
Ruto.
Yeah.
So last week on our closing, we talked briefly about the Bob Marley movie. Did you go see the Bob Marley movie?
I actually watched it. Yes, okay. I watched it when was it? 2 weeks ago? Yeah, and Kwesi said that it's an introduction to Bob Marley. But I understand why Kwesi said that. Kwesi is a Bob Marley fan. So Kwesi even knows things about Bob Marley that I think Bob Marley didn't even know about himself. R.I.P.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't capture the true essence of Bob Marley's life because I think if you want to do a Bob Marley's life story, you need to do a mini series TV.
Yeah.
Or something that it would go for a long time because 2 hours or whatever, it doesn't do justice at all to the life of Bob Marley. I met Bob Marley myself before he passed away. Yes.
Where?
Here in Oakland. I had come to visit the United States for the first time. It was, I think, around 81, something like that. I came to visit. And I went to see a friend of mine in East Oakland. And Bob Marley was doing his, I think it's Uprising, the Uprising album. He was doing that last tour before he passed away. And there was in East Oakland, there was a record shop called Wowzy Records. And my friend said, let's go to this record store that Bob Marley is going to come over there. So we went over there and here was Bob Marley in the store.
Oh, wow.
In East Oakland.
That's exciting.
That was before CDs, of course.
Oh, and you said 81, so yes.
Yeah, I took some picture with him, and
you still have the pictures?
I don't know where the pictures. I had a couple of black and white picture of him at that store, which I still have. But this picture that I took with him, I don't know where it is. I bought an album, the album where he was singing Africa Unite, and he autographed the album for me. I still have the album.
Wow. Oh. Oh my God. Where is Kwesi? Kwesi would be your friend. He'll be like, come to my place tomorrow. I'll make for you jollof rice. I don't know. Everything.
Yeah. And then after that, I went back to my country and I told people that all the newspaper, they were behind me to interview me.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
They interview me. They have the picture of me and Bob Marley in the newspaper and everything. So,
wow.
Then I start really getting into Bob Marley. And then when I finally decided to come to the United States, I made friends with some Jamaican artists. And I mean, it's like Bob Marley, he really loved Africa. He wanted so much that unification of Africa because he had just sang. That's when he started singing Africa Unite and all these other songs. Really, when I watched the movie, there was a lot missing there. Lots of things missing in that. And they didn't talk very much about his love for Africa, how and the tour that all his tour in America.
Yeah, they didn't touch on a lot because one, I think they only focused on his one album, The One Love, and just touched on the highlights of his life. I really wanted to see his tour of Africa. I really did. But I think they just chose, because it's an American, the American crowd does not know much about Bob Marley. They don't, I mean, not even many people listen to reggae. Reggae is not even played on radio, right? So
but his album, as a matter of fact, the album Uprising, and there is a song there called titled "Could You Be Loved?" Okay,
yeah,
that song was played on the mainstream radio at that time. The American
at that time,
that they were catching up to Bob Marley at the time.
Right now, you cannot hear. It's very difficult to hear a reggae song on live on radio. Any station you're going to tune to at any time. Maybe yours is different, right? The one that you work for is different, but just any mainstream radio station in America, very difficult to hear a reggae song. Very difficult.
Yeah,
so I
will
think
hear it. You will hear it on college radio. College radios are the one that made Bob Marley known in the United States. Because he will go to, or he will go perform at all these stadium and places. It's all college students. They will pack this place.
Yeah. So that, you see, it's not mainstream. It's not mainstream. But I enjoyed the movie because I also didn't know that Bob Marley had an attempt on his life in Jamaica. I had known that there was some political fighting for the two candidates who wanted to be president. There was some, I had known about that, but I didn't know how Bob Marley was involved or part of. I mean, was not part of was an assassination attempt happened on him. I didn't know I knew Haile Selassie went to Jamaica or something. There was an African connection, but with Ethiopia. But I didn't know he was going to do a tour or something like that. What really annoyed me about the whole movie and the story is Bob Marley had, was it a toe infection that they discovered was cancerous?
Toe
and
infection.
They had, the doctor said that, we can cut your toe. And he was like, no, it's okay. No. I don't want to. And then he died. So I was annoyed by that. I was like, why didn't he just cut his toe? You can survive without your toe and continue producing music and continue living your life. We don't know if he could or couldn't, but he could have at least done it so that we can continue enjoying Bob Marley as, the man for as long as forever even. I thought that was very selfish of him. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He is very much into the Rastafarian movement. Of course, we know that. And he believes so much in their doctrine and their way of life, because I read some interview of him why he decided not to cut it, that at the time, the toe, because he said that this is his body. The body, it was given to him by the God, the mighty God, and it shouldn't be alternate. That's what he says in one of the interview. And that's the reason.
All right.
Still, but I agree with you.
He knew everyone loved him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that the guy was prolific, because all of his songs, if you listen to the songs today, the lyrics, it's almost like he's talking about today. Yeah, everything that he said, it's like it's happening right now. So it's some of his songs, the lyrics, they're timeless.
Yeah. The messages are timeless. Yes. Because human beings, we are human beings. We will do things to one another that are extremely terrible, right? Look at Palestine and Israel, we are all, you cut me, I bleed the same color. You know, we go through the same emotions. We both cry. We both laugh. You know, we both feel pain. But look what we do to one another. So yes, the lyrics about love, about loving one another, about fighting for one another is, you know, universal and it's timeless. So,
by the way, in the 90s, I forgot what part in the 90s I had a chance to visit Jamaica, and I went all the way to Bob Marley's hometown, St. Anne Parish. Yeah, St. Anne Parish, up the hills. Went to see his house, and it was very moving, very moving.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow, that's really nice. And on that somber note.
On this, okay. No, it's not somber, but I think they should do another.
Very reflective. Yes, they should do another. They should do another movie of Bob Marley and just you know do like a better biography.
Better biography, or like I said, make a docu-series.
Yes,
a TV series about that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Africa Straight Talk is presented by me, Emmanuel Nado, and Kaboshi Mbukwa.
Find more episodes on our website, www.africastraighttalk.com. You can also find us wherever you find your podcasts. We are on Twitter. We are not calling it X anymore, huh? As Africans Talk. And you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Africa Straight Talk. And of course, don't forget to tell your friends about us. To become a sponsor of our growing podcast, email us at africastraighttalk@gmail.com. Until next time, Mze Nado.
Thank you for listening to this episode. We invite you to check back here for our next one. In the meantime, be safe, be well, and love one another.